I just got out of theaters from seeing a Minecraft movie on the big screen, so you don't have to. Let's go ahead and get into this movie review, guys. Let's go. A Minecraft movie is an action-adventure film directed by Jared Hess that stars Jack Black as Steve, with Jason Momoa co-starring with him as Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison, and in this film we see a mysterious portal pulls 4 misfits into the Overworld, a bizarre cubic wonderland that thrives on imagination. To get back home, they'll have to master the terrain while embarking on a magical quest with an unexpected crafter named Steve. Now, of course, there's a lot of division when it comes to this film right now. The critics absolutely hate this movie. The audience seems to be loving this movie, and it's pretty much split right down the middle. Now, where do I side, on these two sides? Well, let's go ahead and get into that. So, we're going to start with my positives for a Minecraft movie. And for my first positive for this movie, I want to talk about the world design. Guys, the world design when they get into the world of Minecraft, when we leave the real world and we're in this, magical wonderland that is Minecraft, it's fantastic. The accuracy is amazing to see on the big screen. I loved seeing, this game that I grew up playing as a child and what seems to be a long time ago to me finally has its time to shine on the big screen in theaters. Now, when you watch this film, it feels like the game itself, or a hyper realistic version of it, was put onto the theater screen. And as a Minecraft fan, as someone who grew up playing this game for years and years and years to come, my inner child couldn't help but be happy about that experience. Now, let's move on to another positive inside of this film, and that's going to be the comedy. Now, while all the jokes don't necessarily hit hard, a decent amount of jokes in this film actually got an audible laugh out of me. It was so silly, so goofy, so over the top that they do end up landing here, and I definitely enjoyed that inside of this movie. Now, let's go ahead and touch on another positive inside this film, and that would be Jack Black as Steve. Now, I think Jack Black was the perfect actor to get here to lead this film because his type of comedy just fits perfect for this IP, just fits perfect for this type of film, where if we're going to go over the top, if we're going to go as goofy as possible with the jokes inside of this movie, Jack Black is there to provide it at its highest level. Now, to be honest, throughout a lot of this movie, he seems to just be playing himself. He seems to just be Jack Black instead of, more Steve, which of course Steve doesn't really have a personality. He's sort of just an empty canvas for the player to paint on. I still think Jack Black as a personality works perfect inside of this movie. Now, for my final positive with this film, I want to touch on the runtime. The runtime for this movie is 1 hour and 40 minutes. Do I think you could have cut 10 minutes off of that, made it 1 hour 30? Yes, however, it's still not, a long time in the theaters. I think it is the perfect length if you're going to make a Minecraft movie to have it be around the 1 hour 30, 1 hour 40 minute mark when you go and see this film. So all of that being said, those are my positives for a Minecraft movie. Now we're going to move into my negatives for a Minecraft movie. And I want to brace you guys, for the fans, for the people who are just championing this movie and parading this movie and just excited that we finally have this IP on the big screen. This may be some harsh words to some of you, okay? So let's go ahead and start with what was bad as Jack Black being Steve, the main character, okay? Now, of course, like I said, amazing personality, amazing sense of humor, the perfect person for this type of movie in terms of comedy. But when it comes to the look, guys, what are we doing here? No disrespect to Jack Black, but we have what seems to be, an overweight old man who's graying in the beard as Steve, as the main character for Minecraft. Now, I played Minecraft, okay? I played a lot of this game. When I played that base character model inside the game, Jack Black is the last thing to come to mind, all right? And on top of that, let's touch on character accuracy more, okay? Now, we're going to get into, all the real world stuff being pulled into here, but let's just start with the fact that when the people from the real world enter the world of Minecraft, why don't we have like an animated version of them, a version of them that's, more block form, for example, to represent these characters in the movie? It could have easily been that when they transfer over into the world of Minecraft, they're actually fully immersed in it and not just, a normal looking human being running around this block world. It completely destroys the immersion. It takes me out of the film the entire time I'm watching it. It feels out of place. It feels weird. It feels strange, especially when they're fighting like for example, zombies, which are still block form when they're fighting all these other mobs inside of the game that got put inside of this movie that are all still exactly the same. They're all still block form exactly as you see them in the game, but our characters aren't, the people we're following aren't. That felt weird and out of place. Immersion breaking, as I stated. Alright, now let's move on to another negative I have with the Minecraft movie, and it kind of stems off my last point, and that's that the real world scenes are terrible. Why do we have so many scenes inside of a Minecraft movie taking place inside of the normal human world? Like 30 minutes, maybe even more of the runtime inside of this film just take place inside the human world. We're following a kid as he goes throughout school. Why? As he participates in a science project? What are we doing here? We're following Jason Momoa as, you know, the garbage man and learning about all of his real world problems, and it's just weird. What are we doing? We're wasting time here. Let's get into the actual Minecraft world. Let's have an adventure that takes place actually inside of this world. I get it if you want to have, okay, Jack Black came from the human world and he transferred here, and then at the very end he's outside of it. That's fine, but it's so much of the runtime. I'm telling you, when you see this movie, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. And I can't help but just be annoyed by that. Simply annoyed by that. Now, let's go ahead and move on to my next negative for this film, which again stems off the last point I just made, and that's the characters that we get inside of here. Now, Jack Black was cool, okay? Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison, aka Jason Momoa inside of this film, he's alright, he's fine, because it makes sense. He's a gamer inside the real world, so it makes sense to pull him into this world. I get it that they wanted to have a kid inside of this movie because this movie is meant to appeal specifically to children. It was unnecessary. It wasn't needed. Not only do you have this child, you have like his older sister who's just got into adulthood, and then you have their real estate agent inside of here who joins them on this adventure within the Minecraft world. Why? We don't need all of these characters. They're pointless. It doesn't even make sense, guys. Why is their real estate agent joining them on this journey? Why was she inside this film whatsoever? This is a random person who means nothing to them. It makes no sense at all. All right, now let's move on to my next negative with the Minecraft film, and that is the soundtrack. Guys, they do not take the soundtrack. You know how you play Minecraft, right? And there's that beautiful, amazing soundtrack. Stands the test of time. Forever, that soundtrack is going to be iconic. All the different songs that play throughout your playthrough inside of Minecraft, they're beautifully crafted. You know, you'll be able to listen to those songs for eternity. They're forever iconic. You know, I'm sure you can even think or imagine or hear the soundtrack playing in your head as I'm even mentioning the word soundtrack for Minecraft. It's amazing. But do they take that for this film? Do they use it inside of this movie, this iconic classic soundtrack that they have? No. They don't. They make a completely new soundtrack for this film, which fine, but are we going to use elements? Are we going to, you know, make it slightly like it was inside the game? No, it's not like that at all. They make a completely new soundtrack for this film. It's nothing like the game, and it's terrible. And while we're talking soundtracks, let's talk the musical sequences inside of this film because they kind of go hand in hand. There's about 4 musical sequences inside of this movie. Granted, I'll give them credit. They're all very short. They don't last very long, which thank God, because they're all terrible. Okay, we have Jack Black singing terrible songs, terrible lyrics, no creativity put behind this. As I stated, we have 4 different musical sequences throughout this film, and they're all like cringeworthy, hard to sit through. What the hell are we doing here with the Minecraft movie? Okay, I was a fan of this game. I'm still a fan of this game. I don't play it like I used to. To be honest with you, I haven't played it in years, but when I did play it, I played it for years, for a very long time. I put probably over thousands of hours into the world of Minecraft. This is not it, guys. Now, let's go ahead and touch on my final negative with the Minecraft film. Guys, this plot inside of this film is completely nonsensical. Now, at its most basic version, in terms of, you know, Steve is trapped in the Nether Realm, which, by the way, I forgot to mention that for the world design. All right, the Nether Realm was awesome, and that was awesome to see inside of this film. But he was trapped inside the Nether Realm. He essentially has to get a MacGuffin. He has to get an item for, you know, the leader of the Nether Realm, which is why he goes back to the Overworld to retrieve that item for him. That's kind of the bare bones for the plot inside of this film. But along the way, we get into so much unnecessary nonsense. As I mentioned, you know, following a kid as he goes throughout his normal day at school, following his older sister, who is this young adult, as she's at the job, just going throughout her work day, and so many other nonsensical things. Even when we get into the world of Minecraft, you know, the nonsense that they get into, I get it, it's Minecraft, it's kind of a build your own adventure type of game, so you end up just kind of going with the motions. But guys, this is a film. Okay, a film has structure, a film has story structure, a film has a story that we're following, and they kind of just threw the main story for this film to the side as a bunch of nonsense happens, and you're like, what the hell am I watching? Now, that's my final negative for this film. Let's go ahead and move on to my overall review for a Minecraft movie. Look guys, as I stated previously, the world design, fantastic. Getting to see the Nether realm come to life, getting to see the world of Minecraft come to life, staying true to the block form, that was all beautiful. It was amazing to get to see that on the big screen, okay? Jack Black as a personality, as a type of humor, and for his sense of humor was great inside of this movie as the main character. If it was anyone, you know, he was not a bad option, he was not a bad choice, but his character design, his appearance inside of this film, terrible. The kids being involved here, the random real estate agent being involved inside of this film for no apparent reason whatsoever. It doesn't even make sense story-wise. Terrible. The soundtrack inside of this movie compared to the classic iconic Minecraft soundtrack from the video game, terrible, okay, forgettable. The musical sequences, horrible. And by the end of this film, we just get, you know, a use of an iconic IP for a video game used for the big screen in the worst way imaginable. All right, if we compare it to films like the Sonic trilogy, which it could have took inspiration from because, you know, that involves real world characters mixed with these animated characters, but did it in a far superior way. If we take, you know, inspiration from films like the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which came out very recently, that film is fantastic, extremely accurate to the game. Of course, an animated version versus a real world version for the examples I provided, which is why I provided those examples so you can understand what I'm trying to say here. As someone who grew up playing Minecraft, as a fan of Minecraft, I'm utterly disappointed with my theatrical experience with this film. Yes, it got some laughs out of me occasionally, but this is a mindless popcorn flick. Turn your brain off to the ultimate extent if you want to get any level of enjoyment out of it. A complete insult to the fans of the game. You deserve much better and you should have gotten much better. Stop allowing Hollywood to give you nonsense and eating it up just because it's your favorite IP and you're finally getting to see, you know, your favorite game on the big screen, guys. And with that being said, let's just drop my official rating for this film, okay? I give a Minecraft movie a 4 out of 10. It gets the 4 out of 10. Is it the worst movie I've ever seen in theaters? No, it's not. If anything, at moments, it's a so bad it's good type of movie. But with $150 million budget for this film, they could have given us something to last generations. Did we get that? No, we got mindless, dumb fun. We got family entertainment and something that honestly, I think if you take your children to this, they are going to have a good time. They are going to enjoy themselves because they're not putting everything into perspective as I did for this video. So if you're wondering, should you go see this film? If you have, you know, someone younger in your family, if you have children, if you have, you know, a younger sibling, they're probably going to get some enjoyment out of this. Okay, they're probably going to have some excitement while watching this. So because of just that merit, I would say, okay, maybe for a matinee. But outside of that, if you're, you know, an older teenager or a young adult or even like an older adult, because Minecraft has appealed to all generations, I would say, you know, this is not worth your time, this is not worth your money, and this is honestly disrespectful to you as a fan of the IP that is Minecraft. Now, do I think it's going to do well at the box office? Yes, because guys, this was a sold out event. I had trouble getting tickets for this movie, okay? I checked all the show times. I had to sit at the very front, near the front of the screen. I didn't mind it too much. It actually wasn't too bad of an experience in terms of my seating location. But yeah, this is probably going to do great at the box office. As I said, the critics hate it, but the audience seems to be loving it. So I don't want to, you know, rain on anyone's parade here. If you're enjoying this movie, please enjoy this movie. I'd rather you get more enjoyment out of it than I did. Trust me. Now, there is an after credits scene here, so make sure, you know, if you are going to see this film, if you're interested in this film, you stay till the after credit scenes. There's a mid credit and an after credits, you know, when the film's going to go completely black. There is a final credit scene that kind of sets up a sequel there, you know, so they are planning to do more with this universe, it seems, which if they do, I hope it's better the next time out. And I think a sequel can definitely improve on a lot of things here. Now, at the end of my theatrical experience, the crowd was clapping. There was a huge applause. So like I said, do I side with the critics more? Yes, but who am I to tell the audience that they're wrong? If they enjoyed it, they enjoyed it, you know? And like I said, I hope you enjoyed this movie. I do. So do I recommend you see this movie? No, but if you're going to see it, I hope you have a good time, guys. And those are my thoughts on this movie. That was the movie review for A Minecraft Movie, which is the official title. And I'd love to know what you guys thought on this film down in the comment section down below. Did you agree with my review? Did you disagree with it? Let me know all that down below. And if you don't know what we do here on Demigod ENT, we do film and TV reactions and reviews and other movie-based content. So if you're interested in this movie-based content, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.